All right, coaches, we are about 9 minutes to the top of the hour, and so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I know there's only a couple of you that were able to make it on here, which is fine. If you have questions, by all means, hit me up, ask. No problem there. So as always, if you got a question, please ask it, and be happy to answer them live. Or if you're catching this on the recording, we can always correspond later on the group chat. So the goal today is to show you sort of how we're going to be game planning in 2020. Now, God willing, we all have a season, of course. You know, I think that's the first big thing is, you know, we in Idaho have already gotten bad news this week. We were scheduled to go scrimmage the 5A runner-up and the 4A semifinalist, and then another 5A school throughout the month of July. And you remember, those of you that are S2A guys, we were going to have an S2A camp this summer. That got canceled because none of us could do it. So then they told us, well, you can't have out-of-state teams come for camp, but you can play people in your immediate area. So we got that all set up. We were going to play people in our immediate area in 2 weeks. And then they changed their mind on that and said, no, you can't do that. They said, now you can have camp, but you can only have camp with yourself, only at your facility, and only with your own kids. So it's a weird deal, but the Boise School District, about 30 minutes from me here, actually has just announced yesterday that they are not going to allow kids to play any football, lift weights, run, condition, nothing, all summer long, all the way till August the 10th. And that's a big, scary event, because you're talking about one of the bigger districts, not the biggest, but one of the bigger districts in the state, basically saying you can't do any football all summer long. And we actually play Boise High School, who comes out of that district. So obviously gives us a tremendous advantage over those guys, because, you know, they're not going to be doing anything all summer. But I think the more fearful part of it is that, you know, it's setting a really nasty precedent that districts are shutting down. Our superintendents did not shut us down in our conference. They only said that we could not have teams in for camp. And so the whole thing is kind of up in the air and scary and weird, and, you know, just it's very, very hard to understand what they're going to do with all this. But right now, the plan is they're going to let us have camp, and then after we have camp, you know, we'll have about another week of workouts, 2 weeks of workouts. We'll shut it down that first week in August, and the plan is to start letting us go August 10th with practice. So I'm sure you're all in the same boat as us. We're wondering and worrying and guessing and hoping everything works out. So, you know, I don't know. It's just a weird deal. But anyway, we're not here to worry about coronavirus and shutdowns. We're here to worry about how to get ready for the season that we hopefully are going to have. So without further ado, what I'd like to do is I'm going to take you through 2 sheets here. The first one is something a lot of you have seen that have been members for a while. We call it the BIG. The BIG is the basic integrated game plan, and it's essentially what I think as a head coach we need to do to win that football game. So the BIG does not include anyone. Like, I don't ask anyone's opinion. I don't get my coordinators' input. I don't get position coaches' input. I watch the film by myself and write up the BIG. Then, as the offensive play caller, I do the stuff in bullets below that. And then the entire offensive staff helps me fill out the second page, which none of you have ever seen because it's the first year we've been doing it this way. So we're going to kind of break it into 3 parts. So the first one, you see there's just a simple paragraph that basically takes you through what our goal in the game plan is. So special teams must set up some short fields. We're playing Boise High is a really, really big 5A high school. I would not say they are going to have very much depth. They're probably not going to be very tough. They are going to be pretty athletic. Okay, so we feel like we need to get a few short fields. Defensively, we need to take away the quarterback run and be physical with their receivers and take away easy throws. They are a big RPO-style football team. Okay, now we don't, from what we hear, they're not big on throwing front door stuff. So we know they're basically a triple option on the spread set kind of team. And we want to take away all the easy throws. Don't let them throw H calls. Don't let them throw hitches. Basically make them have a second part of their menu where they can throw the ball down the field. On offense, we must take our shots early and be prepared to pound the football. I think we're the tougher football team. I think we've lifted more weights. I think if this becomes a back alley street brawl, there's a good chance we're going to win the game. So that's what we want to do. And then as a kind of a bonus down there, I'm putting this down. My coaches will all get a copy of this when we meet. It says, as a result of COVID-19, we are all weaker, but we must assert our will early and make them want to stop playing. They lack physicality, don't tackle well, and do not handle surface changes. Okay? So we're going to try to find how COVID-19 and this huge break can be an advantage to us to help us win that game. To me, it's simple. We lift more weights. We're more physical. We need to run a lot more power and counter and get physical. And they don't do very well. They have a very young defensive coordinator. It's his first year calling plays. We feel like we can mess with him. If we move ourselves around from tight end, wing, spread, empty, eye back, we feel like we can really screw with his mojo, okay, and make it harder for him to do his job. So that paragraph, that BIG, in my opinion, if you're a head coach, is something you should do on your own because it's big picture philosophy of that game, okay? It's not the nuts and bolts. The nuts and bolts start coming down here, okay? So I start with what formations do I really want to run against this team? And if you have questions, by all means, unmute yourself and ask or type them in or whatever. If you want me to draw something, I actually have the AW app up on the back side of this so that I can actually draw things up for you, okay? It says Pro, Iowa, Illinois, Rock, Brick, Away, and 5 by none. Emphasis on these sets, okay? Pro is your standard I. Iowa is your Pro I with a power pair, so tight end wing, one split end. Illinois is 2 tight I with a flanker. Brick is tight end wing with split, 2 receivers split away. And then 5 by none, it's kind of a collegiate term, but Coach Katowski, if you can see my screen, give me a thumbs up so I know that you can see the AW app coming up. All right, good. So 5 by none would look like this. It's kind of a weird term, I know, but and you'd say, well, Coach, that's not 5 by none. Well, what we're going to do to these guys, quite simply, let me change this color right here. What we're going to do to these guys is we think they're going to be an odd team. That's what they used to be, but we're not 100% sure. And so we've got to kind of play some games with them early. They may come out even. They actually are scheduled to play a game the week before us. Idaho lets you play a week 0 game now. So 5 by none is we would run power read, but we'd run power read with what we call a +1 surface, okay? So we would block, arc to block 3, arc to block 4. Actually, excuse me, we would arc around it. We'd leave this guy at the read, okay? And then our quarterback would run power read, okay, by reading that cat right there, all right? So now what we've achieved is 5 by none. We've put all 5 wide receivers and running backs on the same side of the field. It's what I call it, the super unbalanced. And you can get to it much easier with fly motion than you can with anything else. Set them up and then see can they adjust that Obviously, what the defense should do there is they should be pulling everything gap over. They should be slanting into that, yada, yada, yada. But we don't think they can handle those type of surface changes. And since we don't think they can handle those surface changes, that's a big part of what we're going to do. Okay, so now you should be able to see the Boise game plan back up there. So thank you, Coach Kutowski, for letting me know. I want to make sure I'm switching them back and forth correctly. So I can bounce back and forth very easily and show you anything you want to see. The purpose of this webinar is very much organizational, to help you kind of organize your thoughts and how you do things a little bit better. And so the first line is all formations. Then I literally have this Google Drive document open. The first time I watch film, I have the BIG typed, and then underneath it, I just start typing stuff. As I'm watching film, I just start typing. So I'm like, oh, wow. So what you're seeing is my thoughts pouring out into words. Bullet 2, H calls to the field. Bam. Okay? Well, when I was watching film, I'm like, these guys are terrible when the ball gets to a wide side. They don't trust their speed, so they tend to give you a big cushion on the wide side of the field. If you kick the ball out there quickly, it becomes an open field tackling drill, and they suck at it. So I immediately put that down. I don't want to try to put down the play and the play name and the formation and all that. Like, it'll get so much while I'm watching film, I'll never get done. So I just start typing. I've got it in the background while I'm sitting there on Team Extreme, and I'm like, okay, Ace calls the field. Boop. Okay, switch back to my screen. The next one, throw RPOs to the boundary. Okay, well, that sounds weird. It's like, Coach, you're contradicting yourself. No, I want to throw H to the field because they're bad at tackling, but I want to throw the ball into the boundary so that they will continuously tighten the boundary and widen the field so I can get more big chunk plays. Huskers RPO controls the blitz. I saw someone do it. I saw someone throw a swing route on film against them from last year, and they didn't pick it up. Like, they just didn't cover the back. The back catches it and goes for like 25 down the sideline. Well, now, for the next 3 plays, they won't bring any pressure. So I can control the blitz how I want to control it. And this is only sheet 1 of this. Sheet 2 is something I don't think you guys have ever seen. But like I said, I kind of want to go through this. Rep, split inside zone. Lock, power versus odd. Decalls, ninja. And then I've got Brave 1. Brave 1 is an Auburn-style shot, S2A, Dodger, middle of the field, all game. Okay? I'll come back to that play here in a few minutes, and I'll draw it up for you, and I'll actually show it to you so that you got a really good look at it. You can see what I'm talking about. Q Rhino is a quarterback power play. Chiefs is our buck sweep to brick and brick over, and I said protect it all with fly. Okay? So one of the things that we think they're going to be pretty darn bad at is we don't think they're going to be very good at handling those surface changes. So